Good afternoon, I am Andres Acosta and I will be presenting Compulsory Reading 2. For context, this was written by The Economist. It was published on the 29th of October of 2020, and the main idea is the EU fiscal rules. Background. The Maastricht Treaty of 1992 states that governments should run budget deficits of about 3% GDP while also capping public debt stock at 60% of GDP. While countries prepared to enter a monetary union without a central fiscal authority, rules were needed to bind the hands of the spendthrift. In 2003, France and Germany exceeded the deficit threshold and then cowed the rest of the EU into letting them escape unpunished. This was an early blow to the rule of the book's credibility, from which some say it never recovered. While the fiscal rules have been periodically changed over the years, several key things occurred, such as in 2011, when members agreed that debt levels over the 60% limit should be cut by 1/20th each year. A year later, in 2012, the Fiscal Compact, which is a treaty that obliges governments to try to keep the structural deficits close to zero, passed, and in 2015, the Commission clarified cases in which exemptions should be granted, such as public investment. You may be asking yourself, what is the problem to all this? Well, the answer is that there are too many rules. This leads to nuanced negotiations between the Commission and governments, and a loss of accountability and transparency. The Commission might command a finance minister to take a few points off the deficit, while also keeping in mind an escape clause later on. To try to solve this problem, the European Commission declared that there will be another review of the rules in February of 2020. As you may have imagined, COVID-19 halted this review, though it may also affect its outcome. The Stability and Growth Pact, or SGP for short, has been suspended until the end of 2021. This helps governments facing nose-diving revenues and enormous social bills to run large deficits. Take Italy's government, for example. Italy has a debt load of nearly 160 GDP, as seen in the chart. They will be expected to cut it by 5 percentage points a year. Fiscal policy will have a greater role to play for the comeback. Though some say the rules have outlived their effectiveness, Olivier Blanchard, a former chief economist at the International Monetary Foundation, and two other co-authors claim that in a world where nominal growth may exceed interest rates for a very long time, debt burdens can be sustainable at certain levels, far higher than what could have been imagined at the time the Maastricht Treaty was being written. The authors then suggest replacing the tangle of rules with looser strands and applying a debt sustainability test to countries' budgetary plans. So what is the proposed solution to said problem? Simpler framework, a debt anchor, which some suggest could be higher than 60%, and a spending rule, which could cut excessive debt but adjust the pace of belt tightening when the growth is low. Even the Commission itself wants to differentiate better between current spending and investment. France wants a change and wants it now, but a debate will only begin in the earnest next year. For now, the EU is focused on implementing its €750 billion recovery plan it agreed on July 2020. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much, and I hope you've liked this video.